everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video on what kind of plants you can grow in your AEROGARDEN. Of course, you can buy the pre-seeded pods from the brand, but you can also grow your own seeds, and I have a whole video covering how to do that, which I will link up here. Basically, any seeds you already have, any seeds you see at the local plant nursery that you want to buy, you can plant those in the AEROGARDEN. There just is some limitations, like if you have outdoor space and you want to extend your growing season and start your plants indoors earlier and then transplant them outside, you can do that with any seed that you have. But if you plan to grow from start to finish indoors, then there are certain varieties that will do better in the AEROGARDEN. So I thought I would do a little series of AEROGARDEN experiments and kind of take you along as I plant things. So today's video will just be kind of like an introduction to everything I'm going to plant this year. And then I'll do separate videos on each category. So let's get started. Of seeds here. I've bought them all from Baker's Creek. I've mentioned them in a couple other videos, and I just think they have a lot of really fun heirloom heirloom varieties. So since I have I'm blocking it. I actually just placed an order because I was going to plant in my last video and I realized I was all out of seeds. So I got some fun new varieties. They're all heirloom plants. And I'm going to do a mix of herbs, lettuces, tomatoes, and peppers, cherry tomatoes, hot peppers, and one regular bell pepper. And they're all fun varieties that I can't usually get at the grocery store. I think that's what's most exciting. I don't want to grow things that I can just, buy at Trader Joe's. So yeah, I have a 6-unit harvest model and a 12-unit Farm XL. So there is limited space, but I'm going to try and grow as much as I can and do rounds of planting. So yeah, let's go through what I'm going to plant. And some of these I've planted before, so I kind of have an idea of how well they'll do. And some are brand new to me, but I am really hopeful that they'll do well in the AEROGARDEN. Let's start off with tomatoes. I've got this orange hat that I planted last year, and this is a really good compact dwarf variety of cherry tomato. The plant only gets, let's see, I think it gets 12 inches tall. It's super compact. You could actually grow this within the harvest. And it's as you can see in the little picture, it's a cherry tomato plant. They are really compact, prolific plants. So you get a ton of cherry tomatoes on them. I grew this last year. The only thing I was disappointed by was the flavor. So I think I might have to add more nutrients or maybe try adding CalMag. So I'm going to do that this year and experiment and see how they do. But I definitely got a lot of tomatoes out of it. So number one is the orange hat tomato that I've planted before. And then let's move on to peppers. My plan is to do 4 peppers in my Farm XL. Peppers, peppers and cherry tomatoes need more space, so around 3 to 4 spaces per plant. So you can't actually fill all 12 pods in the farm, unfortunately. But what you can do to kind of get around it is plant it with something that will be done before the fruiting happens on the tomatoes and the peppers. So with this, it tells you on the back, it has nice little information about it, and it takes it sprouts in 2 weeks, and then it'll take at least 45 to 60 days before the flowers even come. So in that time, I'm going to fill all the slots by planting lettuces, and in that way I can lettuces don't last very long. They only last about 60 days, maybe 90 days before they'll start bolting and the leaves will get really bitter. So I'm going to plant the peppers and tomato, and then fill the other spots with lettuces, and then by the time the lettuces are all done, then I can take them out and the peppers should have enough room that way. At least that's the plan. That's what I did last year and it worked pretty well, so I'm going to try it again, and I think it should also work pretty well. I really want to make my own hot sauce this year, and then I also want to be able to cook with the peppers, so I got a variety of hot peppers, mostly Asian varieties that you can't really find easily at the grocery store. Whole Foods has a pretty good range of hot peppers, but these should be fun. So I have jigsaw pepper here, which I also planted last year, and these did really well in the farm. They can kind of keep growing like pretty tall. My farm is the XL variety, which has a height of 36 inches or 3 feet, and these can easily grow taller than that, so you have to be quite on top of the pruning, but they're still compact enough to work in the farm models. I don't recommend them for the harvest, only use a farm. I wouldn't even recommend the Bounty for it. And these are really quite fun because they change colors throughout the growing process. So they start off, if I remember correctly, I think they start off dark purple, and then they slowly change into like green, red, orange, or maybe they start off green. I don't know, it's been a while, so I'll have to check on these again. But these were really fun, and I thought they were decently hot. I'll look up how hot they are on the Scoville scale and put it on the screen. But they're really not that hot. And yeah, they're just a really pretty plant too, because they are that kind of rainbow color effect. The leaves are kind of like green and silvery, so it's also a really pretty plant to grow. Every time I've had people over when this was growing, they're always like, oh, what is that? And it's pretty easy to do. So this is one I recommend. And then I also got 3 other peppers that I've never tried before that I'm really excited about. So I got the Chinese 5-color pepper. This is what it should look like. And this one I picked because it had that similar rainbow range of colors, like the jigsaw pepper. And these are also specifically good for containers. So it'll be compact, it'll be short and bushy enough for the AEROGARDENs, and I always like that rainbow of color, especially in the winter time because it gets quite gray and dreary in New York, so it's nice to have some color and life in the house. So yeah, these are, also I plan to like cook with these. Maybe I'll do like a cooking series, I don't know, we'll see. And these will be good for just like a stir fry and add a little bit of heat. And then next up, I got Korean peppers. These are also something that I've never grown. They're supposed to be good for like Korean panchan, like the side dishes, and also for kimchi. You could pickle them. And oh, I pickled actually recently. And this is what it looks like. It's quite easy to do, and I actually really like how they taste. Any kind of like easy fermentation is also good for like gut bacteria and just good for your diet. So I'm really into doing more of this with the peppers. I think hot peppers are really fun to grow, but when I grew the jigsaws last year, I didn't really know what to do with them because they produce so many peppers. So I'm trying to be like only buy and grow things that I can get a lot of use out of. So my plan is to use them in stir fries and Asian cooking, and do some pickling, and then also to make my own hot sauce. That would be so clutch. So yeah, that is the Korean dark green pepper, and I'm pretty sure that I've had these at Korean restaurants, and they should be like kind of Swedish. I don't think they're, actually no, the label says very spicy, hot and delicious, so I guess they will be hot peppers. So we'll see. If you've grown any of these before, let me know your recommendations and tips. And then the last one is a regular bell pepper. It's this albino looking, really small bell pepper, which I'm really excited about because I often buy peppers at the grocery store and then I kind of leave them too long and they get like, you know, dimply and mushy. So it'll be nice to have my own bell peppers. And these are supposed to be quite small, only like 3 to 4 inches. So they're super tiny. I think it's cute. I really like tiny little veggies. And these are a snow white albino version, so it should also be really fun to look at. And yeah, all of these will germinate in 7 to 10 days, and then I have a feeling they'll take quite a while. I think last year I grew them for about like 100 days before they really started producing peppers, so I have a feeling it'll take a while for these as well. That's gonna be my pepper series. And then, like I said, I'm planning on growing some lettuces in conjunction with the peppers and tomatoes. Lettuces are super easy to grow. If you're new to hydroponics or growing indoors, definitely recommend lettuces. I also feel like they're really easy to eat, so you like can get a lot of like utility out of them. And the thing with lettuces is you kind of like, it's like cut and come again. As they grow, you just take off a couple of the outer leaves and you let the inner leaves keep growing outwards, and then you kind of always have a steady supply for at least like 60 days. So these are the ones I'm growing this year. Again, it's a mixture of things I've grown before and new varieties. First one, I'm not sure if I'll have room for this, but if I do, it looks quite pretty. called Mizuna, and this was actually a free seed that came with the order. I'm not sure if every company does this, but Baker's Creek will give you like a free seed every time you place an order, which is nice. And this is the one that I got this time. It's got this like fun purple stalk and then leaves, and I believe the whole plant is edible. So yeah, it says it's a Japanese heirloom. The purple stems are nutritious, and then it's got dark green leaves with like a delicate flavor. So I always like to do like a little side salad when I'm making steak or anything like kind of heavy. So this will be nice for that. And then I got some other lettuces, tennis ball. These look like tiny little tennis balls, which are really cute. Like I said, I like miniature things. And apparently this is an original strain that was said to have been grown by Thomas Jefferson at Monticello. They're supposed to be like a butterhead type lettuce and very small, like 6 to 8 inches in diameter. So yeah, we'll see. And then next I have a cabbage. This is called Sanguine Emiliore. It's like a yellow, red spotted looking cabbage. It looks quite funny. I think Sanguine Emiliore means strawberry cabbage lettuce. And it's a French heirloom developed in 1906 by C.C. Morse. Again, it's a butterhead type lettuce, and again, they are compact, so this should be fun. And then next I have 2 Asian vegetables. I don't traditionally like Asian veggies because like it's usually like bok choy and the stem is quite thick, but I've kind of grown accustomed to it and I like it more now. So I picked up 2 varieties. They are miniature versions. Veggies have been trained to be like in fruits, especially in America, like the bigger the better, but I find that the smaller ones tend to be juicier, more flavorful. So that's kind of also why I like these small varieties. So I've got tatsoi here. It's a really pretty dark green leafy vegetable, super nutritious, and it kind of, it looks like a flower, like a low, wide, blooming flower. I grew this last year. I made some mistakes with growing this because I basically put too many in one pot and then they were kind of fighting for space. And also the lights should be really, really low for these so that they have that nice, wide, blooming flower look. They got kind of leggy. So like the stalks developed too much and they got quite long stalks, and then the actual leaf was quite small. So I'm going to try again this year and see how it goes. That is tatsoi. These are also really, really good for you. If you're planting outdoors, you can move this outdoors because lettuces are pretty frost hardy. It can snow and they'll still survive, which is really cool. These have a lot of vitamins and minerals. Doesn't tell you what kind, but yeah, so that's tatsoi. And then last but not least, I have tiny, tiny little bok choy. I think these are so cute. I actually bought this last year to grow, didn't have space for it, and then my aunt got really excited about it, so I gave the whole packet of seeds to her. So I rebought it for myself this year, and these are like an extra dwarf tiny version of bok choy. I always like the little bundles of bok choy, so I'm hopeful that I'll like this. And it's said to have been grown first in Hong Kong, and again, these are also frost hardy, so if you're going to move them outside, these will do well in winter. And then lastly, I'm going to grow a bunch of herbs. I think I'm excited for everything, but like herbs are just such a good thing to have on hand. And the herbs I'm going to plant in the harvest. So I have 6 herbs to fill all the spaces because I really want to get use out of them, and I want to grow as many herbs as possible. And I've grown herbs like many, many times, and they're very, very easy to do. So especially if you're a beginner, super beginner friendly, I think they make such a nice difference when you're cooking. So the 6 herbs that come with the harvest from AEROGARDEN are, it's stuff like Genovese basil, Thai basil, I believe it was parsley, I forget the other ones, but so I'm basically growing the same, well, similar 6 types, but I'm growing like unique varieties of them. So I didn't know this because I always see the same kind of basil at the grocery store, but in addition to Italian Genovese basil, there's also many different varieties of basil. There's like extra large basil. The one that I picked up is called Emily's basil, and I picked this up because it's supposed to be a compact version, so I figured it would be extra good for the AEROGARDEN. Basil in general is pretty compact, but this is a nice dwarf variety. and it's supposed to have like a really aromatic flavor and nice big leaves. So yeah, this should be fun. And basil is generally a summer herb, but with hydroponics you can grow indoors all year round, so that's nice. And then I also picked up Thai basil. So the AEROGARDEN does come with a Thai basil option, but there's actually many different types of Thai basil. So I got Holy Krapao, which is, I'm probably not saying that right, but it's Holy Thai basil, which is a unique variety that generally you can only find in Thailand unless you grow it yourself. So that's what I got. This is what it looks like. It's got dark purple leaves, and it's supposed to have like a really like sweet and spicy clove-like flavor. So I'm really excited for this. I love Thai food. That's like my go-to takeout order is Thai food. So hopefully I will be able to cook with this. I took a cooking class in Thailand like many years ago, so I have a little recipe book for how to make like Thai basil fried rice and curries and all that. And it's been a while since I've made them. So once this grows in, I'll start making more of those. And then I also got parsley. I got this fun variety. It's different from the regular parsley you can find at the grocery store. This one is a Japanese version called Mitsuba, and it's got these like extra large leaves. What does it say? It says delicious Japanese herb, easy to grow, similar to parsley and cilantro. The whole thing is edible, so the leaves, stems, roots, and seeds, which is interesting. Did you know actually that the stems for parsley have more flavor than the leaves? Usually I just use the leaves, but then once I found that out, I started incorporating the stems into cooking. So yeah, I've never seen this Japanese version at the grocery store, so I'm excited to try this out. And then similarly, I also wanted to grow cilantro. I use that quite a bit, and this one is a funny looking version. It's called Dwarf Lemon Cilantro, and I picked it up because it had dwarf in the name, and it should be compact and good for the AEROGARDEN. But this one is also supposed to have like a really citrusy flavor, which I've never seen before. And yeah, so pretty excited about this. And then lastly, I also picked up some chives. I love Asian chives, and I feel like there's something that makes like a nice difference in cooking between like green onions, chives, and like, I don't know. I just like chives. Scallions, that's the third one. So now I can have my own chives. And scallions are actually also really easy to grow in the AEROGARDEN. These should have a delicate garden flavor, and yeah, these will just be fun to grow. I'm gonna plant a lot of these because in my experience with chives, with the AEROGARDEN pods, they were really, A, they take a long time to germinate, and B, they were kind of finicky to grow. So like for the peppers and stuff like that, I'll just do 1 seed per pod. But for something like chives, I'm gonna put probably like 10 seeds in there because you want like a nice big bundle. And yeah, I think that's it. It was a little overview to what I'm going to be planting. I have a whole video on how to actually use your own seeds. If you want like the full details, you can reference that video. And then like I said, I plan to track the progress and do a separate video on like growing tomatoes, growing peppers, growing herbs. So hopefully it'll be useful. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know. Always open to feedback.